Welcome back to Bass Capital Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Lara Wallace, and today I have Mr. Brandon Cumbo, the voice of Interlachen. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
statement. I like
yeah.
that. Yeah, a little
Well,
bit.
it is. He mans a Facebook group called Interlachen Word of Mouth, WOM for short. So I think that's appropriate to call you the voice of Interlachen.
Something like that. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, you've been called worse, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I like to stalk people on Facebook, whatever source I need to get the information I need to know. And honestly, from a Facebook perspective, before I was doing this project, I was adding, because I'm always interested, like what's going on in my community,
Yeah.
not just Palaca or East Palaca, where I work and reside. And I found your Facebook page, and I was like, dang, this is unlike many of the other groups that I've seen. There's a lot of positivity going on in here.
Yeah.
Where there have been other groups where I felt like the Facebook page was, or the Facebook group was really a platform to share opinions. While that's not unhealthy, maybe the opinions were negative all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. A lot of people, when they're going to move to a community, start going on the internet and they're like, okay, let's say Interlachen, Florida, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. What can they find out about, like, doing recon before they get there?
So, I mean, one of the questions that I ask when you want to join the group is, how did you hear about us?
Right.
And a lot of times, more than none, I would say is, I'm moving to the community, I'm buying property, or, something along those lines.
There it is,
and
folks.
they're going in there because it is a publicly set group. So you can go in there and kind of scroll and mosey about. But if you want to participate, it pops you in to see the rules. And the first question is, how'd you hear about us?
Yeah. So there it is. I educated guests, and I hear that about other groups. But what I think is so unique about the group that you're running is not only is it positivity, but it is helping. Like, it's become a space where you guys are doing great things with the group and helping the community. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Tell me how you got roots in Putnam County.
So I was born and raised in Putnam County, a little old Interlachen, back when there was Eckerd's and Friar's Chicken right there.
You lived the best life. Everybody loves a good Friar's Chicken.
Yeah, I remember those days. I was only a young boy. I was born in the 90s, but I went to Interlachen Elementary, and I went to C.H. Price, and I went to Interlachen High and graduated in 2009. And then kind of set my wings from there. But that's how I kind of, I played baseball at the high school. I had a lot of fun in high school. I had a lot of great teachers, a lot of great administrators. Miss Matthew was probably one of my greatest inspirations from there. But
shout out to her on her channel.
Yeah. But other than that, that's just, my grandparents live there. They have a property there. And a lot of my family. There's actually a Cumbo Lane in Hollister. Fun fact for you. So
wow.
So I mean, it
so
goes.
You're the Cumbo of the Cumbo Lane, like the Cumbos.
That's a very unique last name, so I wouldn't imagine there's too many of them around here. Well, there is, but I'm fairly certain I'm related to the majority of them.
Yeah, I've met a couple Cumbos, and every time I'm like, "Are you guys related?" I feel like that's a Southern thing. Like, who's your mama and daddy? Everybody's got to know who you're related to around here.
Yeah, usually when they ask who my daddy is, they went to school with him, or they know my grandfather, they know my uncle, or my aunt. So it's usually one of those three.
That's what I love about this community, is we're all very connected. For better or for worse, we stick together in our own way. So you have started this group. Why?
So I didn't technically start the group. It was started by another young lady, but I really saw what you were talking about. There was just complaining and negativity and a lot of cursing and just not very inducive to the environment in which I believe Interlachen can be and is, where everybody knows everybody, and, how's your mama? You see somebody, you walk into a restaurant and everybody knows everybody, somehow you walk in and you're eating with one person, all of a sudden you're eating with another. That camaraderie, that small town feel that it still has that many towns are missing.
Right.
Or losing, rather, not missing.
Right.
But, I just saw a potential. I saw I know how, monumental social media can be. And I saw the potential, and I decided to take it and run with it.
And that you did. think it's really, so I'm thankful I did not come in at the negativity era, because I would have probably unfollowed the group, or, hit it for a while. But what I've come into is seeing, there has been like uh, people have sold stuff on there. Just said, "Hey, I've got this available."
Yeah, actually, every Friday we have for sale Friday.
Yeah.
So I make a post and it has our logo on it and everything, and it basically allows people to search for items, or like if they're looking for in search of, or if they have something for sale, like people sell beds and people sell four wheelers, and but it's a way, because in the beginning there was just items and items and items, and I didn't want a swip swap, so to say.
Hmm.
So in a way to allow people still to sell with that platform being as large as it is, each week I make that post so that
Hmm.
it gets pinned to the top of the page. So that way people are able to sell their items.
Brilliant. So they still have the ability to utilize that page. How many members do you think you have?
I'm at 14.8 thousand, and that's it's probably somewhere in the
Hang
neighborhood
on.
of.
Let's pause for a second. 14.8. So
Yeah,
14800.
I can give you an exact number if you like.
Oh my gosh. That no, that'll do. That's
I
crazy.
started with, I don't know, probably 3,500 members when I took over the group.
Wow. That's impressive, honestly. I was like, I thought you were gonna say 1.4, and then you just kept going. That's
Yeah, I mean, and truth be told, part of admittance to the group is you have to agree to the group rules, because they're very specific, and because of circumstances that have happened, in the past, like one of them is no profanity. That's not something that we allow. Us against Facebook's terms of service, so we don't allow it either. So you got to agree to those rules, and a lot of people, I'd probably say a good third of the people that request membership just ignore them, and then they get denied membership, and then we're able to send them a message. I have my moderator send a message saying, "Hey, we just need you to check out the rules and click that little check mark, and we'll let you in." And
mhm.
9 times out of 10, it works. But if we didn't have that restriction in place, we'd probably be much higher.
Wow. Well, I think it's important to hold people to a standard, especially when that is such a high visibility for people who are interested in moving. Putnam County is growing, and I feel like we get a bad rap depending on where you go.
Mm,
And part of this channel's purpose is to talk about, not in, I don't want to go in with the intentions of changing the tide, but I want to change the tide of how people are viewing Putnam. Yeah, I did a lot of research before I started posting videos and content about Putnam County, Palaca, Florida, all of the bigger cities with municipalities, all the ones that are come up a lot.
mm,
Whew. It was not as pleasurable as I was hoping, because in my experience, and for even being partial, born and raised Putnam County, I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, we got issues, but so does every other place.
yeah.
But there's so many good things. There's so many good people. Like, let something happen to your family in Putnam County, and you talk about we need help. That's it. You got help.
Yeah.
Everybody steps up. The feel of being able to walk into a restaurant and know somebody, where in other cities, I wish I could remember who I was talking to, but they were talking about their friend came down, and they walked into a local grocery store and saw somebody, and they were like, "Oh, how's it going?" And the friend was like, "That happens here all the time."
Yeah, my wife, God love her, she's from Miami,
Hmm.
and she down there is a whole different world. And when we first started dating, and she came up here, and we went to the Cracker Barrel. I remember, and there was an old man sitting on a rocking chair, and
Hmm.
he walked up, and, "How you doing? You have a good breakfast? I hope you have a good day. God bless you, whatever."
Hmm.
And she was like, "People do that?" Absolutely. I mean, that was normal for me, but for her,
Yeah.
it was a little weird. And when I was in Miami, vice versa, like I was working for a company, and I was down there in a mall, and my rental car, the battery had died. So I lifted the hood, up here. If you see somebody with a hood lifted,
Oh
you're gonna say,
yeah.
"Hey, you need some help?"
Right.
And
Nobody.
everybody just walked on by me, and I found a security guard, luckily, and I was like, "Hey, you got any jumper cables?" But there is a vast difference.
Yeah, and that's everywhere in Putnam County. So, I love that there's a set of guidelines to help hold people accountable, because you can get a message across without using profanity.
Yeah.
People who do it, no judgment here. Everybody's got their own language, however they want to.
Mhm.
But I think setting our best foot forward is always important. So you've got the For Sale Friday, which is a hot place to be. I've seen that thing filled up.
Yeah.
Um, there are also other amazing things that that page has come to do. You guys have done like different things with the school, is that correct?
Yeah, so in the infancy of what I was doing, I'd say our very first event was like a backpack giveaway.
Which the fact that you did an event is pretty cool.
Yeah, I hadn't even got to the best part yet.
Okay.
But yeah, the backpack giveaway, we did that at Deep Creek Game Farm out in Interlachen. Miss
Hmm.
Robin helped us out tremendously in the beginning. And we basically set up a tent and we let people register and they could come get a backpack. And inside of the backpack was a 45-piece school supply kit. And I had different backpacks, some for high school kids, some for young kids, because they use different things.
Oh yeah.
We were able to give away, I think, right at 100, between 100 and 110 backpacks. I don't remember right off the hand how many they were, but right at 100. We donated some to the soup kitchen. We had some left over. We gave some to the high school that were left over. And then immediately following that, we were able to raise some money utilizing local businesses and their donations. I'm very thankful for them. We were able to give 8 $100 gift cards to brand new teachers at the high school.
Wow.
So that's one thing we did. And then I'd say probably one of my coolest things I've ever done was the Veterans Day concert. We did that
Hmm.
out at Mary Wisham Field. I think it's called West Putnam Complex now or something like that. But to me, it's always been Mary Wisham Field.
Right.
Um, and we had the high school band perform. Mr. Irizarry at the high school band. They did a phenomenal job. We had this guy. His name was Scotty. He was very unique. He was like a rock vibe. He had like these dummies on stage, and they had like guitars, and I thought it was really cool.
Right.
And
Is there
then
video of this somewhere?
absolutely
I
it.
have. I need to see that. I'd like to, if I can get my hands on it. I'd love to throw a little clip of that because my mind is trying to
I will find that for
encapsulate
you. Yeah.
that for
And
you.
then we had Miss Summer, locally here in Palaca.
Yeah.
She sang for us as well, her and her husband. And we actually had a little bit of a mishap, and they actually sang longer than they were supposed to, and they did a fantastic job.
Hmm.
And then we were able to raise right at $1,000, thanks to Face Life Fellowship's donation of a smoker. We sold
Hmm.
some raffle tickets for it. And we donated that $1,000 to the agriculture program at the elementary school. So they were able to get some pens built and stuff for their critters and stuff like that.
How amazing! I love like. I just gives me. I try not to get emotional about it because it really is. Sometimes when somebody says something in these interviews, like the reality of these are just people on a Facebook page who have the commonality of Interlaken, right?
Yeah.
So whether you live there, work there, curious about it, whether you are, interested in moving there, you can go to a community page, and not only are you able to find out information and connect with the locals, but you're able to connect with like something that I have loved the internet for is I was dying to recall the name of the restaurant that was in with Pick and Save, which is now the Beck dealership like
Yeah.
office. And there was the Pick and Save there, and then they had this like buffet. And my grandparents took me there all the time. And I couldn't remember. I know it in the recesses of my mind. It's not coming back for whatever reason, but somebody told me the name of it through social media. I
Hmm.
don't know why it doesn't stick, but nonetheless, being able to have that as a resource about that community. But you guys have taken it a step further where you're doing something with that
Yeah.
resource.
Absolutely. And and there is, if you go on the page, you'll see a video that's pinned. It's about our Christmas wish party. And
Hmm.
we did that immediately following. So basically what we did is, I think it was right at 40 kids. So
Hmm.
basically we let families be nominated, or they nominated themselves, and we let their kids make 3 wishes. And then those wishes were granted either by myself through donations, like the Rotary Club of Interlaken donated, and people from out the community donated. Faith Life Church again donated, and we were able to, from different businesses, adopted the kids and got their gifts. So we were able to do 40 kids, and the American Legion of Interlaken actually provided them like a free breakfast. They had like waffles and pancakes and apples, so their family came and ate. And then we had like a Christmas tree set up, and we had a DJ there, and he was playing Christmas tunes. And then they all got to eat. And then after they ate, I actually had the floor home Santa. Shout out to him. He is I get goosebumps. He is such a great guy. He's got, the real beard. He sounds like cornbread. He's just got the twang. And he's got a fantastic suit, and he's just one of the most lovingest guys you ever met. And he came in there with his jolly red cheeks and he sat and took pictures with everybody and we gave them gifts. And so they all got their wishes, on bicycles and fishing poles. And that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of.
I mean, that's 40 kids at 3 gifts. That's 120 gifts pulled together by the community. That's amazing.
It was really cool.
So, did you, when you started this, you didn't start the group, but you took over the group, right?
I keep saying me, but I do a lot of the legwork, but it's not just me. It's my moderators and my administrators. So there's a bunch of us that take part in running the group because every post is viewed and every participation request is reviewed by a person. So it's not just me, but at the end of the beginning, it was just me and a few people, and as we've grown, we've added more to our ranks there.
Understandably, that's a lot of crowd control.
Yeah.
So that just to think of, I mean, you guys aren't getting paid. You
Mm-mm.
don't have a landing place. You don't have a nonprofit that I'm aware of. Like it's just you guys coming together for the good of your community.
Yeah, one of
On
my favorite things to say is I have 8 jobs and I only get paid for one. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, none of us get paid. We're not in it for money. You know, it's just a matter of I'm a big believer in legacy. And whether it be a Facebook group or whether it be that one little boy, because actually we had a little boy, you'll see it in the video if you watch it. One of his wishes was to see a sports car. Like he wanted to see a cool car. And because of my group and me putting that request on there publicly, I didn't put his name obviously, but I put that he wanted it. Somebody from Clearwater drove some kind of special edition 60s Corvette up there, and it actually might have been a brand new Corvette. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember. It was it would look fancy.
a cool car.
Yeah, it was a cool car. And he drove all the way from Clearwater to show it to this little boy. And we had a cool Ram truck there, and just these people that have no idea about this kid, and they're just doing it because it's the kindness of their heart. So the biggest thing is, the group is for news, and the group is for this, and the group is for that. But the best part for me about that group is watching people who don't know each other care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, with all the hate and everything that's done, to see that in such a small community and people from outside of that community, because there's absolutely, let's face it, there's no way there's 14,000 people in Interlachen. Okay.
Right.
I think last time I looked, there was like approximately 1,500-ish.
Right.
But there's people from, it shows me a mix like Palatka, Hollister, Interlachen, Melrose, all.
Yeah, we want to know.
And there's some people that live down south, or some people that live in Georgia, some people live in Alabama. So I mean, sometimes when I see how'd you hear about us? Oh, my mama's sister's cousin told me about you. And it's because we do a lot of stuff. We do giveaways. So sometimes, I partner with local people like Pop's Buffet down in Salt Springs. They are part of a program where they donate to us. So for us to give giveaways, and, I really appreciate them for that. There's a lot of businesses that do that. And sometimes we'll take part in huge giveaways. So we've done giveaways that included speakers and a bounce house, and we've done the ultimate summer bundle. We've done at Stegbones in I want to say it's in Malacca. They did a little staycation, and we did some chocolates from Sweet Freedom Foods, and we do a lot of giveaways, and some of these people that win these things, these staycations and stuff, like they never, they're unfortunately in the communities that I help, I would say inventory, the income is very low. So this isn't an opportunity that they get very often, and just those little moments, like to me or to someone else, it's okay, it's not a big deal. But to those people, those little moments that they remember for the rest of their lives, that's the lasting legacy. Like our entire shtick of, and if you'll see it on everything I post, it's where the community comes to life. And that's truly what we do. It's not just a Facebook group. It's not just a bunch of people. It's people that meet in public, and we figure things out, and we partner with people, and we partner with businesses, and we partner with all these people to make sure that this is a successful, not only event, but successful for the city, for the county, for everyone.
I mean, you're bringing, one of the things I say all the time is you can't have community without unity. And you're bringing unity through whether it be an event, whether it be a giveaway. I mean, everybody likes the idea of, human nature sometimes we're what's in it for me, but
Yeah.
being part, there's groups that I have where it's a local business. My friend started a business. They're going to do a cookie giveaway if you like, follow and share, and everybody has a fun time doing that. But the fact that all involved are doing this for free and are doing this out of nothing but the goodness of their heart and have been able to successfully do all of those things is just incredible. And it's a community enrichment. And you guys are just a Facebook page.
That's all it
Like,
is.
that's crazy to, I don't know why I'm so hung up on that. I guess when I think about all of the efforts done, when I think about things like what you're doing, there's usually a nonprofit behind it, or a formal group behind it. Um, but a Facebook page is something I've never really
I mean,
encountered.
I will say that like I said, for many of our events, we have partnered with the Rotary,
Hmm.
where I am a member in the
Right.
Interlachen area, or the Interlachen and Lakes area, I think is the technical title for it.
Hmm.
And then, like I said, Faith Life Fellowship, we've partnered a lot with. We've done some events with the city. I was actually one of the not hosts, the judges at the city's chili cook-off. That was a very interesting experience, to say the very least. There was some interesting taste in there that I've
Yeah.
never had before. Yeah, it was interesting to say the very least. But it was a really fun experience to be sitting up there and like everybody's waiting on my opinion, like, which is
Right.
not something I'm used to. It's usually me just giving it to you and here you like it, you like it.
Right.
But I've through this group I've been exposed to. I've had a lot of windows, or not windows, a lot of doors open, and
You can
it's been
exit and enter all the same window or door.
it's been a thrilling ride so far. It really has been. And I'm just like, I always tell everybody when I respond to their message or when I respond to their comment, thank you for being the very best part of the group, because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, I can post in there all I want. And I can make events all I want. I can make grand videos and grand flyers. But at the end of the day, I need, without people being involved, none of it
Right.
matters. So their involvement is what makes the group successful.
Have you seen an effect for not just the people who you've impacted, but like the businesses in the community? Have
Um,
you?
there is a particular business owner. I'm not saying any specific names, but I know that this particular individual told me that um, because of the initial boot up and the startup, and as we've grown, because people didn't know that this person even existed as a business, thanks to the group, they do now, and they were able to actually grow their business even further. So I mean,
I
I
dig that.
have I have seen some positive growth, especially when businesses have. I would say, when they've been featured in the cover photos and things like that. When they, like, if you do a donation, you're featured in the cover photos, things like that. So that's at the top of the page.
Right.
Um, but other than that, I do limit businesses advertising,
Hmm.
and that was only because I would say I saw a trend. I've worked in sales my whole life, so it's kind of a month over month thing.
Hmm.
And I noticed there were more coming in, or going out than there were coming in.
Hmm.
And I messaged a few and I said, "Hey, I just was curious. Can I help you? Is there anything I did? What can I do?" And they just basically said that it was more of a classified site, because it
Hmm.
was just the same person or the same company posting every day over
Right.
and over. So we do limit that now. Um, to certain restrictions. It's actually rule number one in the group, the business advertising, as part of like a community outreach program that we have going on.
Hmm.
But other than that, I personally have seen businesses be very successful through
Yeah. I
just
mean,
just not even through advertising, but just through being part of the community.
absolutely. There are a number of businesses that I have found on Facebook that I've been like, I didn't know that was there, or I didn't know we had a XYZ. Or I will see a group start talking about a business.
Hmm.
And it gives an opportunity to have eyes on it. I respect the fact that you uh, don't allow that to over inundate, because it feels like we've all watched that YouTube video where there was
Hmm.
96 commercials and you're like, I don't care about this topic
You're like,
that
I just
much.
watched a
Yeah,
commercial.
yeah, I know. And if I take the survey, will it make it go away? We've all seen videos where it's been back to back commercials, whether it's visual or even in short form. So it does take away the the impact that something has. So I appreciate you doing that. And the fact that you've allowed people to come in a place to collaborate too. I just I just can't get over the fact that it's a Facebook
I mean,
page.
it's some of the posts that I see, I'll wake up in the morning and there's 50 pending posts. I'm like, "Oh god." So then I go through them all, and some of them I was like, "Yeah, it's a little early for you in the morning, ain't it?" And then, some I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." Like, one of them was, a young mom that was single and didn't have any, friends or anything, and she posted in there, "Hey, is there anywhere we can meet up to do, like, a single moms event or, like, a kids play date or anything?" And now they're doing, like, a monthly thing at a
Love
park in the
it.
community. So, I mean, it's just, little things like that. When you see a post and then you look 20 minutes later and there's 50 comments,
Uh,
it's like, where can I get my hair cut, or where
right.
can I get my lawn cut? Any of those posts, and boom, boom, that's where the businesses come in, because you're able to.
Hence word of mouth.
Yes.
Listen, peeps. Okay. I feel like, especially in this community, we are so big on word of mouth. And one of the things that I love to do, I mean, obviously, my whole channel is about sharing, right?
Hmm.
Sharing history. I want to capture the history because we need to do that as a community. It's
Yeah.
important. Sharing positivity, things that are going on, whether it's the Gathering Artists of Putnam who've come to Putnam County, or a trip that I'll be taking out to another community to share what's out there. Putnam County's got a big footprint. Like,
Hmm.
realistically, I you don't. It comes up all the time about the trip to town when you're in South Putnam, having to cross over the bridge to anywhere in North Putnam.
Yep.
But really, we thrive in this community, and I think that that really is the way of the world, on word of mouth.
Hmm.
Somebody telling you something, and you're going to trust someone that you know.
Well, it's just like they told us in sales training way back in the day. You make one person happy, they're going to tell, a couple people. You take one person off, they're going to tell 50 people. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
So I
Oh,
mean,
let
word of
me
mouth
tell
has.
you what so and so
Yeah.
did. But I really have enjoyed being a part of the group and watching it. I know that just sitting back from a viewer perspective, it has brought a lot of joy to my heart to see all the positivity and the things that you're doing in a community that, I mean, just frankly speaking, sometimes does get a bad rap.
Yeah.
And again, everywhere has issues. There's going to be something. Yeah, everybody can find something wrong with someplace. But I think if we continue to use our word of mouth skills to share the positivity. And if anybody has any negative things to say, about Interlochen, go hop on
Yeah.
that word of mouth
I
group.
mean, if you write a bad review and it's proper and it's respectful and it's in the right tone, then absolutely you're entitled to your opinion and that's allowed.
Mhm.
But it's when you get on there and badmouth the business because you didn't get your way or you got fired or whatever. Those are the ones we're kind of like, well, wait a minute.
Right.
Um, and at the end of the day, we're there to build and we're there to improve. But at the end of the day, constructive criticism is necessary to build and improve.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I mean, that's why if you have a bad experience, you have a bad experience. You're welcome to share it. I don't limit those. I just limit the ones that are degrading or cussing or breaks any of the rules.
Right. I second that. While I love talking about all things Putnam in a positive tone, we're going to uncover things that, while it's positive, you can't. If everything was positive, there would be no room to grow, and we would be perfect, and nobody would have anything to say. But I was having a conversation with a friend about special needs children in this community, and there is an area of opportunity, whether it be connectedness, a
Mhm.
place to, which is way more important when you have a special needs child than resources. You can get resources a lot online, though we don't have a lot of those either. But the dialogue was that this community has been exceptional at pulling together to support those with special needs. I've seen the autism walk that came up, that acceptance for autism, that Miss Lamb, one of the avid teachers out of QI, did a stellar job with her
Mhm.
students putting something together.
Oh
So
yeah, that was that little boy's dog.
yeah,
Yes, Miss Amanda.
yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Yep.
But we did that. We came together as a community, and they met their goal.
Mhm.
And that is something that I do feel like is amazing. But if we don't talk about, to your point, the things that we need to work on, we won't find
Yeah.
solutions.
I mean, you come in Interlaken and you come and you see, and that's the thing is in this day and age we're so quick to shout out the negative, but like when I have a good experience, like say you're at a restaurant and you just have a waitress or waiter that's just stellar, and a lot of times you're quick to call that manager over to complain, but you're not quick to call that manager over to compliment, and
Right.
that's the first thing I lead off with when I ask for the manager. I'm like, hey, I'm not complaining, I'm
Right.
just taking a minute because people don't to compliment. And that's the thing is, they see the little punk kids that are busting windows, and they see some non-desirables, and they see the people walking around that are homeless, but what they don't see is the little old lady that's getting walked across the street by a young man, and the people at Hitchcock's carrying the groceries out, or
Right.
the people at CVS filling the little old lady's medicine. They don't see all the good. They just, because a lot of the good is mixed in with the bad, and
Hmm.
they're more focused on the bad, I think. But at the end of the day, the good, I think, is where we need to stay, and that's what I
Yes.
try to focus in the group. Is we bad is part of the group. Bad is part of the living,
Right.
but at a point where bad becomes, degradation.
Right. I could not agree more. And again, I just think socially we do focus on the bad. The tabloids would not exist if we did not care about drama.
Yeah,
And some of it is interesting. And you're like, oh, that
I do find
happened. What?
myself. I like eating popcorn,
Yeah,
reading the
yeah. Every
comments. But
once in
see,
a
if
while.
it's my drama, I can't stand it. But
Right.
as long as I'm not involved.
Right. Right. Sometimes it's okay to do that. Just get a little. Oh,
Like
what happened?
they're always talking about Gypsy Rose, and I was like, "Ugh, being this, like, listen, just who cares?"
Make a Gypsy Rose Facebook group. But I just love that. And I love the concept of it. I appreciate community champions. I think we need ambassadors of positivity for each community. And you and your group are killing it. And from somebody who is a huge Putnam County fan, and the more I learn, the more I'm excited to share. Did you know?
Yeah,
Did you know Interlochen Word of Mouth Facebook group is something that you could join? So I will
absolutely.
be sure to leave a link below. If there's a way that people want maybe could help, they'll be able to reach you on that page, correct?
So the best way to reach me would be directly through Facebook. So if you go to my profile, you'll see, and there are unfortunately a few people that have made replica Facebook pages of mine.
You should feel
I
honored.
am very flattered. I really am. But mine will have a little blue check mark next to it for verification, the Meta Verified program. And then if you just hit message, send it to me, and I will get back to you.
Y'all, I'm sitting here with a live verified Facebook guest. That's
Hey, listen, it ain't nothing
impressive.
fancy. You just gotta send them your ID.
No, but I think it's fantastic. So, yeah, I love that. I love that they can reach out to you directly. So we'll
Mhm.
leave the links in the description below. But please let us know at Bass Capital Radio Podcast how we can help you in your efforts. I'd be happy to come out and do some coverage, see what one of these events is like, and highlight that.
I will say, yeah, our next major event will be the Veterans Day concert. We're going for a second year in a row, so it'll be the second annual Veterans Day
Oh,
concert.
that's exciting.
We may have a couple surprises. I can't say too much yet. We're still in the, I do have some interesting vendors coming, and I have some interesting things being set up. You may see some reptiles there. You never know.
Oh,
But it's the coolest thing. You get to meet all these different people, and I'm like, hey, you want to do this? And they're like, absolutely. So I'm really excited. If anybody's interested in singing in the concert, I would absolutely love to hear from them.
so if you're interested in singing, you can reach out to Brandon on his personal Facebook page. But if you're part of the group, I'm sure you can connect with him that way.
Oh, absolutely.
But the best way, get with him directly. Again, the link below.
I almost forgot to tell you, we have the second annual Best of Interlochen voting going on right now. I don't know if you
Oh, tell
saw
me
that or
about
not.
that.
So last
Now I've been in
year,
Facebook prison for some reason.
oh, that's right. You were
Somebody
naughty.
wanted to be me. They took my Facebook page over, but I'm back. So tell me about it.
So last year, I decided to do the Best of Interlochen. They had the Best of St. Augustine, the Best of Palaca.
Oh, I did see that last
Yeah,
year. Yeah,
so
yeah,
I did it
yeah.
last year.
Okay.
And Mr. Mike Rogers over at Galactic Nutrition won Small
Yes.
Business of the Year. I was very
Yes.
proud of him. But this year, I've decided to do it a second time.
Mhm.
And I've modified some of the categories. We have like Best Restaurant. We have Mr. Interlochen, Mrs. Interlochen. People that really influence and further the community. I have excluded myself from that nomination. Won
Mhm.
that one last year. But you know, this is an idea to bring exposure, because a lot of these businesses that are being nominated, people are like, where's this, where's that? And so people are able to vote, so you're able to vote for your best small business, your best dessert maker, your best place of worship. So we've got all kinds of, or your favorite place to worship, we've got all kinds of categories. And at the end, when it's all said and done, voting will end at midnight on July 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's all said and done, the winners will each be visited by me and will receive a plaque with our logo on it that they can display wherever they'd like, indicating that they were chosen as the best of.
That is like the best idea. I love that. I think we need to do that throughout all of Putnam County. That's incredible. It's
Well,
really a boost because it is your community saying that they believe in you,
hmm
that they support you, and it is positive word of mouth
hmm
because you're getting the group to think about positive things.
yeah, you're
You
choosing your
know
best. You're not choosing your worst.
exactly.
And it's seeing some of the nominations has been crazy, because some of the people I didn't even think about were nominated. And I take a staunch stance on, I do not vote, I do not nominate, to
Hmm.
remain impartial. But seeing people that nominate, because you can see ultimately who nominates you, and it's like, wow, I'm so glad that they did that. I'm so glad that they nominated them. And some of the just the like last year, it was just amazing seeing some of the impacts that it made on some of the businesses for them winning. Like, just, and I produced a little award show video that's in there if you want to see it. But it was basically like, I had their logos, and it said, small business of the year. But it was a pretty neat
I
experience.
love
I
that.
didn't go as grand last year because I was, it was in its infancy. But this year
Yeah.
I'm gonna, each one I'm gonna visit, and and we have a really neat logo. I really like it, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
slap
your
it.
logo is pretty awesome. So
I really like it.
absolutely. Well, I'm appreciative of the time that you took coming from that side of the world all the way over to here and sharing what you guys have done. I hope this has inspired you. It doesn't take but fingers and a Facebook page to start a community and a positivity movement. We've got tons of groups that are already in existence. If you're part of a group, try to be the positivity in that group. Try to influence others to do well and use that. I mean, you've got a group with a common interest, whatever group you're in. So if you have questions on how you can take your group or a group that you're part of and do things just like they're doing, be sure you check out the link below, reach out to Brandon. But I am very excited for what the future holds. I'm very interested on seeing who wins the nomination and or the contest, and I'll be sure to follow along to check out that video, the award video. Very
Yeah, that one
excited.
takes me a little bit while to produce, so it'll be a couple weeks. But yeah, it will be
Good things come to those who wait.
absolutely. And like you said, I would be more than happy if there's some groups out there that I really think could potentially, like, there's Caring Hands of Putnam County. They do a lot of good stuff. I think there's one called Free Stuff of Putnam County. It's a pretty
Hmm.
long name, but they do a lot of good stuff. So, I mean, I'm more than willing to help. I'm not
You can be a
definitely.
Facebook consultant, a Facebook group consultant.
Yeah, I'm not an expert by any means, but through a lot of trial and error, I have discovered, kind of, and then I've taught some classes and stuff, so I've been able to kind of figure out where people need, where people, which direction. And
Hmm.
I would say, without the community and without my moderators and without the businesses, it would just be me running just a Facebook group. I'm just the guy. You
The
know what I
guy.
mean?
I'm
Like, I'm
just
just
the
the guy that
guy.
you see posting all the time, and they're like, "Who's the Brandon guy?" And then
Right.
when they realize, they make the face when I'm out there interlocking, they're like, "Oh, you're the Brandon from word of mouth," and they, because nobody looks at my profile picture there.
Right.
But it's without all of that, it's truly a community effort, and it's truly where the community does come to life.
Well, who knows? Next, you're going to have a consulting firm for helping people grow positivity on social media.
Maybe I could be like one of them. What do you call them? Inspirational speakers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could be the start of this podcast could be the start of your career
You were there.
going forward. I was there on ground zero. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to again following along with the magic that happens. I hope this has inspired you to be a little piece of positivity in any group that you're in, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. We all have the power to bring positivity and unity to our community. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks.
Thank you.